Welcome back to another episode of our Toyota LandCruiser 80 series build, where we're currently deep into a Turbo Barra conversion. Previously, the 80 was unfortunately involved in an accident and needed a front end rebuild, which snowballed into us deciding to do a Barra conversion while we had the whole thing apart. So far, we've removed the FZ and front end of the 80, got the Barra ZF6 auto, wiring loom and a bunch of stuff out of the Ford we will need. Given the 80 a big cleanup, realised the BA engine out of the Ford won't work, so we bought ourselves an FG Barra block we'll be using instead. In today's episode, we strip down the block to install valve springs and billet oil pump gears, get the ZF auto adapted to the Cruiser transfer, and as per usual, run into plenty of problems along the way.
Yeah, I'll figure out what's going on here.
Oh,
mate, that's some water sitting in there, eh?
What is that?
Try some redneck shit.
That's like everything you do, mate. Redneck shit.
Nah, I normally do hoodback shit. They have to go back where they come from. Otherwise, motor shagged.
Proudly supported by Ultimate 9, Tread, Opus Campers, Superior Engineering, and in part by. Hey everyone, quick reminder, we have plenty of merch available on our website. Every purchase goes a long way to support the channel and these weekly episodes. Christmas is rapidly approaching, so between now and the 31st of December, every order of $50 or more will receive a free sticker and stubby cooler, and any order over $100 will also receive free shipping. Cheers guys. Next step of this engine swap they're up to at the moment is pulling apart this FG Barra that we have. So this is the Wreckers one that we got. There's the old one over there that was no good to us in the end. But we're going to strip it down, not strip, like we're not going to take the head off and everything. We're just going to pray that it's good, which worked out well for us with the TD, but you know, we're surely a bit more lucky this time.
It's from a wrecker.
There's a few things that need to happen here. A couple of parts from Barra the World. We've got billet oil pump gears, heavy duty valve springs. From the research we've done, asking around, talking to Barra the World, they said if you're not going to do a full like engine rebuild, strip it down, new rods, pistons, all that sort of stuff, then at least do the oil pump gears and the valve springs, especially if you're planning on hitting limiter, because the oil pump gears, the factory ones, are known to shatter when they're under too much stress. Once your oil pump gears shatter, then you're obviously not going to be picking up oil and your whole engine's going to implode on itself within 20-30 seconds. And with the heavy duty valve springs, what is the idea behind that, Berto?
Well, when you also rev these things high and hit limiter, you can break a valve spring. And if you break a valve spring, you drop the valve into your motor, your whole motor goes kaput. We
looked into getting a full rebuild on one of these, but like to get 1,000 horsepower rebuild was like 10 grand we got a quote for.
Yeah.
And to get like, you know, a 400 or 500 horsepower build was still like 8 grand or something.
You only really save about, I think it was 2 grand not doing the whole caboose.
It was just going to blow the budget out. I can't afford it, so that's it is what it is. And given that you can buy one of these pretty cheap, like,
might as well kill 3 of them before we do it properly.
Yeah, we'll
TD round 2.
Yeah, we'll kill a few of them and then I'll save up some money and then we'll get a built one. This whole rocker cover's coming off and we're putting the one from the other motor on.
The BA-BF one on because they've got different coil packs. So we're going to stick with the BA-BF coil pack, so we're going to use the BA-BF rocker cover.
Which is to match the ECU which came out of that.
Yeah.
Because you can't just go mix matching wires and rocker covers and things all over the place, otherwise you end up in chaos. And then this crank, you meant to have a special puller to get them off, but it was $260.
So we did it without it.
We said, nah, not today. We just budget optioned it.
We backyarded it.
You commentating what you're doing here, mate? You updating the people or what?
I'm pulling the coils out, mate.
Did they know that?
I know now. I'm pulling the rocker cover off, yeah? Now I've undone the bolts, and these coils bolted in. The other one, they weren't. They just sit in and the cover holds them. So now I'm pulling these out just so I can pull the rocker cover off. We're not using these, but I'll pull them aside. We'll sell them to someone.
Oh, it's a bit scudgy down there.
Yeah, mate, a bit scudgy on that one. We'll have a look-see when we get this thing off. Look at that one, eh? That one looks a bit better than the last one, doesn't it? Well, it's all clean. It's not all gunked up with all that. See all this carbon?
Yeah.
That's carbon, mate. Look at this one. Clean.
Clean.
This is a good quality motor here, mate.
What about that, mate? What about that?
That's just a bit of water's gone down there, mate.
That don't matter?
No, that won't matter. Oh, just a bit of water. Bit of oxidisation. What are we looking at here, mate? This is timing chain.
Feels secure there. No, not too loose.
No, not too loose. This is variable cam timing gears, VCT. This little bridge looking thing, mate. That's the cam cap and assembly. That there, these lobes and this round thing, that's a camshaft.
So there's the springs in there too that we're going to be replacing.
Yeah, those little fellas.
Yeah, they're in there.
Yeah.
So that's the top of her off. She's looking good in there. That's good news. Now what?
Now what? Now that I've got that off, I'll pull stuff off, start pulling this fella off here. Look at that, mate. Do you know what that is? It's a tensioner and assembly.
It's off now. We're going to get a new one of them or reuse it.
What's your budget?
That's just blown out long ago.
The bearing's good. Pulley's a bit rusty. We'll probably give it a clean up and use it if you want.
Up to you. How much is a new one?
I don't know. Somewhere between 0 and 200. I don't know.
Oh,
mate, that's some water sitting in there, eh?
What is that?
Mate, that's just rust.
Mate, what the hell? Look at...
Mate.
Who's been putting corn in this thing?
Look, it looks alright all up in there. It's just right here where there's water sat.
Yeah.
So that's why we got a new water pump.
We got a new water pump
Mind you,
right over there.
there's 2 options for a water pump, right?
Yeah.
Cheap one and a premium one. So you know what I got?
What?
Premium. Do you know how much different it was?
How much?
$20.
Oh, get a premium.
That's
then.
what I said, does it? $20. I don't even know how much it was. I just said give it to me.
So is that a problem?
This?
Yeah.
Nah. That would have just been water sitting there. They might have had this for a little while just sitting in their back like on a pallet. But that's the water pump off, mate. We'll give him a clean out and that. I'll get that in there. Try some redneck shit.
That's like everything you do, mate. Redneck shit.
Nah, I normally do hood rat shit. See that, mate? That's the right tool.
You bring the right tools and things
That's
get
the
done.
right tool, mate. Look at that.
That's why everything takes us so long. Working under these budget conditions.
Mate, it's a budget bill.
How's it looking in that section of
Yeah,
it?
how's it looking here? Not bad at all, mate.
What are we looking at there?
So this is a timing chain tensioner. It tensions the chain. This is a guide. So it's metal, but then it's got plastic where the chain runs, so it doesn't wear into it.
So where's the oil pump gears behind in there?
That is your oil pump.
So does that mean you have to pull all
assembly.
this chain and stuff off?
I also have to pull some off.
You know what you're doing there, or?
That's why I timed it up. Yeah, I'll figure out what's going on here.
You just make it up as you go.
Brother, I'm a mechanic.
Spun the motor upside down, and now Berto can pull that sump off there. Sump needs to come off to get into the oil pump gears.
You know what they're going to say to us about this? If you're this far in the motor, you should have just rebuilt it. Yeah? You should have said, you f***ing pay for it, but I'm not doing it. Budget's blown. Little bit I can do your oil, that nothing crazy, mate. So we're looking at here, this is the oil pickup. You see that there, mate?
Yeah.
What's that?
I don't know, what is it?
It's going to be a piece of one of these tensioners. See that just there?
Yeah.
That's what that is. So maybe I'll order a couple new ones. Pretty common on these, them things break.
And it's not really a big deal.
It's not a big deal. Nah, it'll be right. How'd you worry, mate? Look, the seal on the wall looks pretty good. This is the pickup that goes into the oil pump, so I'm going to undo that. Because that bolts into that, you can't undo that with a sump on.
Sump's off. Now what?
Pulling off the tensioner so I can pull the chain off. So, see this? Don't f***ing touch it. Alright? I'll undo these little bolts. This whole oil pump come off. So this is the oil pump. I've got to pull all these screws out, and then the billet gears go in the inside, in here. And then we have a new back cover anyway. So what I need to do is undo all these screws and get it apart. They're too tight, mate. I'm gonna have to get an impact. Hey, Josh, do you have an impact screwdriver? That's your original back cover. We replace this with their nice billet one. Here's your gears. One. Inner and outer, mate.
Nice new box here.
How do these work, mate? You know how they work?
That part will be kept, but this and that will be replaced with our ones here from Barra of the World. They're Boundary Racing pump gears made in the USA, suit Ford Barra XR6. Look at this, they even got like engraved on them.
I'm not going to go too ham with this because it's just going to get filled up with engine oil again. So all I'm doing, replacing the ones that are already in there.
That's new billet, all pump gears, all in the engine now. We are waiting for a couple parts to arrive though before we can go further. So I've ordered the plastic trims that are a bit damaged to go with that chain. And then I think the tools arrived today at my house to do these valve springs. And I think the adapter we bought to adapt the ZF 6-speed auto from the Barra onto the 80 transfer case has arrived at my house today as well. So I'll go home, get some parts, and then we'll keep going again in the morning. Next morning, overnight, we have had our couple of packages turn up that we were waiting on, but I'll do a little unboxing here. What have we got, mate?
So apparently we got the valve spring fitting kit on the vehicle, so I don't know what this thing looks like, but we'll figure it out.
Where did these packages come from?
Oh, they come from Barra of the World, mate.
Oh, look at that, he's even got the shirt on.
If you need anything to put a Barra in anything, barraoftheworld.com, mate.
They got it.
Be there. This is half of a contraptment. This is the next three bits. It doesn't make sense now, but when I get them all out and we go over there doing it, I'll figure out how it works and then I'll let you know.
Now, we've bought this tool for a little bit of money and it's a one-only use, so we're actually now hiring out Barra fitment tools.
You can hire me out to do the job too, but it's extra. So, what do we got in this? PJ's off-road, heavy duty axles, custom components. What could be in here? Boom. So because we're going from the ZF, which is this spline, this slides over on the back, and then this is your Toyota LandCruiser spline. So it adapts the two together, slides on, and then the transfer slides on. Blue, mate. You weren't expecting blue, were you? Me neither.
Before this adapter plate goes on, there are a couple of modifications you need to do, depending on which box you have, whether you have a two-wheel drive or an all-wheel drive box. This being an all-wheel drive, we only have to drill and tap one hole.
Two-wheel drive, you gotta drill a couple, I think. 8.5mm drill bit. I'm just going a little bit by a little bit, so I don't drill further than I have to.
So now you've drilled the hole, now you've got to tap a thread in so that a bolt can go in.
This is a tap. It is 10 by 1.5, so that'll be the same thread as these other ones. So in theory, it screws in. It's like a bolt. That hole there with no threads, it's getting threads. You wanna go or what?
Yeah, I can do it.
Tyler Thompson doing some work here, he's on the tools. The school teacher's getting taught, brother. Lucky you're not getting paid by now, man. Let me tell you that.
So we're showing that even if you have zero skill,
yeah,
you can do it.
That's what I was getting at. I was letting everyone know Tyler's got zero skill. And he's still doing it. There you go.
So have you seen any of our previous build stuff? We did start installing the part-time kit. We got the hubs on the 80, but we never actually got around to putting the part in the transfer case. So we're going to get that done here now while obviously it's all out of the car. This was a kit from all 4x4 spares, and that's the internal bit that's going to go in the transfer case. And I was just reading on the instructions here, so this has worked out good that we are doing it. It says, for those of you who have a constant forward drive, please be aware that noise rattling in the transfer case is a very common and well-known issue within forward drive LandCruiser Industries. Gets worse the bigger lift and tyres. Installing the much lighter barrier engine can make the noise appear, and so they recommend installing a part-time kit when you're doing this conversion.
So first step of the part-time kit, I'm going to drain the oil, remove this sensor, and then pull this cover off. And then when I get into that, I'll give you another update. Now there's two circlips in here, I've got to figure out which one I've got to pull off. So now I'll just undo all the rest of these and then get this part of the case off. And then that's where the action happens.
Look at that, we got a transfer case.
So this is the center diff of a Subaru part-time kit. So
Subaru.
no, yeah, this ain't a Subaru. We'll start again. Is LandCruiser 80 series center diff in the transfer case. So these are constant forward drive. So they need to be able to slip a little bit when you turn. So the front wheels do different speed to the back wheels. And this spins and slips and lets it do its different speed thing. So what we have is Mark's forward drives part-time kit. It's the same thing, but that bolts on, and then they're both locked together, 100% the exact same, can't slip.
And then that would just mean that the car can run in two-wheel drive instead of being a permanent four-wheel drive.
Correct. I locked one of them. Bolts are in. I got a vroom, 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 vroom.
That's the part-time plate there mounted in, bolts on, Loctited. Don't want them coming undone. What did you do that up to? 132 newton meters.
No, not that one. That was about 80. I'll clean all this spudgy off.
And then put new gasket goo on and bolt it back together.
What do we use spudgy for, Tyler?
So that the oil doesn't leak out.
Bloody oath, mate. I'm gonna paint it on. Nice little kid in kindergarten doing his first little hand painting. That's me right now.
Got both those surfaces cleaned up, fresh gasket goo on, back together.
What are we doing? Back together, eh?
Yeah, you know what?
Back together, eh?
And now look, there's more, mate. More to clean.
I know, mate.
You'll be here all day.
Yeah, I'm gonna be. What's this here?
Circlip.
What do we do with it?
Put it back on.
We clip stuff. Next up, what's next, Tyler? What's next on the menu?
More cleaning, more spudgy.
More clean and more spudgy. How did you know? It's my favourite thing. Guinness World Record. Spudgy run, eh? That's what you were thinking, mate. That was Kathy Freeman.
I'll bring some oil tomorrow, but that's the ZF Auto adapted onto the 80 transfer case for the part-time kit. Next job, heavy duty valve springs. That's exciting though, some actual big pieces of this puzzle coming together. Heavy duty valve springs there from Barra of the World.
We're getting ready to put in valve springs. So, pulling these sensors out, because we have to pull the cams out. So we need to undo these cam caps. They come as like a bridge, so they do like 3 in each. If you're gonna undo them, you should really undo them in the opposite sequence of doing them up, so then they don't like warp or bend or anything. I've got a picture. We'll show you the picture. Another thing to know, you can't mix these up. They have to go back where they come from, otherwise motor shagged. So I've just got I2, I1, E1, E2. So it's like intake, exhaust.
And do you remember which is 1 and 2?
What do you mean?
Well, when it goes to put it back on, right, if you go intake, I've got intake 1, intake 2, so they go over this side. Which ways 1 and 2 go?
I normally start, if you start your numbers, you start from the front of the motor and go back.
Yeah, okay.
That's just rule of thumb sort of thing. Don't be throwing me up like that, alright? don't be coming around, mate.
I just needed to know the what order the 1, 2, 3, 4 goes.
Mate, you've done one fucking tap, alright? Just relax. And you're not at this level yet. And like, obviously you start on the sequence and then you just want to undo them bit by bit. Because these have like the valve springs pushing up against them.
She's out.
Whoa.
How you feeling about this job ahead?
It's not my motor. It's not my money if it don't work, you know what I mean?
Take it out of your pay, mate.
Okay, mate, fuck taking shit out of that. I'll fucking start charging you tool hire. $1,000 per tool, look how many I got there.
Start charging you for the tools of mine you've been losing.
Mate, they're all there, brother. I could buy all them tools for 15 cents anyway, they're all from Big W.
Caps and cams out. So we're going to start down the front.
Pulling out some little lifters and rock rafts.
There's 4 out.
They got to go back where they come from, so I've got a nice piece of cardboard, I'm laying them down in order, and I'm going to mark them too.
Very delicate process, this one. Everything has to be very careful with and all in the exact order. And if
you're doing this in the car, right, and you drop anything down in here, it's in the sump, so probably pull the motor out. So we're good with doing it out here. I've got no sump on.
straight through. But what were you saying? You have to get this right because what can happen, what can go wrong, then you have to take the head off?
We're changing valve springs, right, yeah? The only thing that holds the valve up is the spring. So what we have to do is pull the spark plug out. I've got a little adapter, we put air in there so it then holds the valves up, and then we've got to change them while it's got air in there. If for any reason we lose air pressure or anything, valve fall in, head comes off.
and how many is there to do?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, so there's
24.
And like in here, there's a spring, and then on top of the spring is the retainer. Holding the actual valve to that is little collets, and they're tiny little collets. So there's a few things you can drop, don't mess about. Pull the spark plug out. What's she look like, mate? She's alright, I've got to put air down in this cylinder. So you got to leave all the other plugs in, otherwise when you put air down, motor tries to turn over. You don't want that. See how these work, right? I'm trying to show you one of these ones over here without anything on it. This little tool goes on the valve like this, right?
Yeah.
See how it like cups it?
Yeah.
These bolts, once this is bolted on here, pushes down. The air holds the valve up, it pushes the spring down, and then I can pull off. Around the very edge of that valve is those 2 collets.
Yeah.
This pushes that down, so they're like a taper like that. So you have to push the spring down and then magnet them out and then unwind this, and then the spring's loose. Pull the spring out, put a new one in, fight to put them little collets back in, let it out. And then
You're going to do this 24 times.
Yeah.
It's going to be the worst job.
Why do you think I've been f***ing not wanting to do it? Don't want to play mad games. Well, you hear the air changes?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's starting to come out the valve. Because they've been in there for that long, the collets normally like get pretty good in their little home. So even when I'm pushing it down, it's probably just pushing down with it. So I'm going to pull this off, get a little extension, and then if I just hit the top of that spring, a little bit of a whack with like a spring in the socket, might be doing good. Might loosen him up. If it doesn't, head's coming off. We're gonna hope for the best anyway. There you go. That's a collet. There's 2 of them on each valve. The hard bit's putting them in. I've got my little work table here. You can't see it. I'm putting them down. I'm not waiting for you because I'm not f***ing around.
There's no time, mate. You've got to be careful not to bump this air hose.
Yeah, don't touch it. See that? That is the retainer. Goes on top of the valve spring. There's the valve spring and the valve's still sitting there. Oh, new valve springs. They're tapered. Like I see, I can only go in that far. That one goes all the way in. They're tapered, so they only go one way. He just slides down. Boom. I'm gonna leave him in the tool. Boom. You have to be a little bit careful with winding him back down, because if you don't line up the top, the retainer with the valve, it'll push the valve down. What happens when you push the valve down? All the air that you're using to hold them up comes out. Valve goes in. Yeah, I'm watching it. I'm just doing this with my fingers so I can see. It looks like I'm going straight up the guts, so that's good. Do him up. But you want to make sure too, when you do these up, you don't go so far that the top of this hits the valve, pushes it down either. Like, you have to be pretty careful in multiple aspects. But you also want to go down a fair way so it's easier to get these little collets in. I wanted to go down a bit, so I'll wait for that to pump back up so it's got heaps of pressure, and then I'll try and push it down again. I mean, it's probably going to take half a day. Stressful half a day. Now I've got to try and put them in there.
It's very hard to see on the camera, but those two caps are going on that 3 rows.
The columns.
One there, and it's like very little room to get them in.
You know what happens if they don't go in properly? And then you let it out. Spring shoots them flying across the room, never to be found again. And then that's not good. I'll put my finger in there just in case. Looks good, mate. So they're in their home. So they're tapered, obviously. So when they've got pressure up on them, they're like wedged into those grooves.
That's one down, mate. 23 to go. Thinking about it now, whether it's easier just to take the head off to deal with this job. But anyways, we're in deep now, so this is what's happening.
If it was in the car, it's probably easy to do this than pull a whole motor out or pull a head off in the car. But out of the car, it's probably easy to pull that off.
Yeah, okay. That's those 4 valve springs out. That's how many's left to go. Moved from the first one over to the second one. Obviously not going to film them all. I'll update if anything crazy happens, but other than that, just gonna keep smashing through them. We got the camera back on.
A little update, mate. I'm on the last 2, mate. How long's it been?
3.5 hour job from the start, mucking around here. Last couple there going in. None down into the block or head. Can you do a quick reminder, because I forget, I can't remember whether we talked about it. Upgrading to these heavy duty valve springs, what does it stop?
So, I'll tell you in a minute. So it stops 2 things. The springs are old, they can break and crack, or they also get soft, which causes valve float, which is where they don't shut fast enough, so you end up losing power because all your combustion's going out both, and they run like crap. If one brake breaks, your valve drops down into your cylinder, and then your motor.
Game over.
Boom, valve gets chopped up between piston and head's probably busted, the whole block's probably busted. It's not ideal. We did it, mate.
Yeah, you did it, mate.
No, you f***ing stood there and looked at me.
There they all are in, looking beautiful. Valve spring's done. Berto's just got to piece all this back together now, so I'll get some shots of that, and then on to the next job, which don't know what that is yet. We've got to come up with a plan.
When you wake up in the evening, never left an empty space. Will you remember how you're feeling?
Yeah, okay. That's all the pieces back there, and now you just have to torque them up in a specific order.
Sequence, yeah. So I'm going to wind all those in with just fingers to start with, and then we'll do them up from there.
You're gonna fade away. I could be there behind you.
So now we're going to torque up these cam cap bolts to 10 Newton meters. Now we're going to put the timing chain guides back on and time the motor up. Newton meters. Pull the pin out, let that go. I'm going to clean off all this old gasket so I can reinstall the timing cover. I've cleaned up this surface and this surface. I'm going to clean in here a little bit. It's had a bit of water sitting there while it's been sitting. A bit of build up, some oxidisation. I'm about to spin this upside down so I can put the sump back on. He comes over, right, leaves his rags everywhere. This is not on that.
Do you feel we're getting closer to the place where we began? Are your feelings getting?
I'm going to put the sump on. Do that, we've got these little seals. I'm going to put a little bit of bougie in the corners so they have a little groove in here. They're going to go into that. And then I'm going to run a little bead along and we'll seal it all up. Testing 1, 2. Got a 13mm on torque wrench. Got to torque up these sump to main cap bolts. 58 Newton meters they are. So what we have to do now, get this seal out, put a new one in. I need to seal this front cover to the sump and the front of the block. I've got the spudgy again, you know, you'll see that a lot this episode. This crank pulley, I've just nipped it gently with the rattle gun. Now I've got torque wrench. 125 newton meters is factory spec, so I'm going to go to that. Now, we've got new spark plugs for this thing, so I'm going to remove all the old ones. I'm going to turn the motor back over, make sure it turns over with no plugs in it. It should, just because I've had the cams out, got to be sure. And then, yeah, I'll put new plugs in it, wait for the rocker cover to come back, and we'll be good to go.
And that brings us to the end of this episode. Make sure to tune in next week as we get the Barra engine brackets mounted on the 80, get everything painted and start putting this ZF Auto and Barra into the cruiser.
You got the job, you work for free. Did you say someone commented on yesterday's video being like, so Berto just does all your mechanic work full time for free now? But yeah, mate, he loves it. He don't worry about money.
Nah, I'm just in it for the Instagram followers, bro. That's it.
Oh, that one's never had a look, no? Have a look at it.
How long did that happen? Look at this one.
Is this the one you bought?
This is the one that comes in the car.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This is.
No.
Oh, you're coming down. You want me to wait up? Are you ready?
I'll lower it down.
Bop, motherfucker. I'll just get some for the bloopers for you. You know what I mean?
To get to the other side, no to lay it on the line.